Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Take a look at these crepuscular rays from the sun appearing to be just above the clouds there, and consider what this observation really fits with. I'm on a beach in Phuket, and as you can see, it's getting on towards the evening. The sun will go off in that direction. Now, of course, we're told that we live on a globe and sunrises and sunsets occur because the Earth is spinning. And we're also told that the sun is hundreds of times larger than the Earth. And so the light shining on the Earth should be, wider than the Earth. It should be rays of light coming to the Earth that are much, much wider than the Earth itself. So if we just look at the way we've got the sunlight hitting the cloud there, and then the sun is going off in that direction, a kind of it's not shining down through. Over there it is shining down through the clouds, and we've got this kind of dispersal, so if it was a massive sun, much larger than the Earth, then any light coming through the top, from this top part of the cloud towards me, would also be shining down. Even if we can't see the sun, because it's apparently so far away that despite its size, it appears to be the same size as the moon. But even so, the light coming from that, if anything, should expand. So by the time sunlight from a massive sun reaches a globe Earth, then really we shouldn't be getting this effect at all. Any light would just be shining straight down. But look how localized and small that sunlight is. Of course, it's kind of one of those phenomenon with light that you can't see light until it hits something or is reflected off of an object. So again, consider that. Even though we have this blue sky, we don't have a massive beam of light. I mean, even the clouds just above here, this cloud here, if the sun was really massive and its light was lighting up the entire half of a spherical planet, then the light would also be shining down, casting a downward... You alright, guys? A little bit of a shock there. My sons are in the sea. Okay. Yeah? But do you see what I mean? We have this local-looking sun because, well, light is always a local phenomenon, isn't it? It's one of those very esoteric things that we really can't pin down. And we certainly can't prove from anything, any kind of observation like this, the size and distance of the sun, except to see that it most definitely is something very local. So it literally, what I'm saying about this, these rays of light that we see, but actually what it is because of the shadows. We see the contrast from the light because of the shadow created by the clouds. So if you, again, which way is the shadow going? And what does that tell us about where the light is, where the sunlight is? I mean, look over there. These shadows are slanted off that way. So it's, if you try to go back to imagining this rolling ball Earth that's supposed to be tiny compared to the massive sun, that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with an observation like this, does it? This only fits with local sunlight. It is the sun that has gone that way to create these shadows which come this way. Because if we were on a massive Earth that was turning around, then those shadows should be directly downwards, regardless of what position the Earth is in relation to the sun. Yeah? This is why it's such a battle when we're kids to be convinced that we live on a globe. Of course, for people who are mathematically minded, it makes sense. The mathematical model makes sense, and then it's easy to discount observations like this, because every time you consider the Earth as a spinning ball in space, you're jumping out of this kind of personal perspective, and you're jumping into this imaginary perspective of a model of a spherical Earth going around the sun in empty space. But for those of us who like to observe what we see and really compare that and consider what's going on beyond what we can actually see, then you can only conclude that the sun is a local light, and the Earth, as we can see, is a very, very level stationary plane. Yeah? Here we are, the land comes up, and so we have this well of water, and that goes off into the distance. It doesn't suddenly start curving away. Over there we have ships in the distance. I'll see if I can grab a couple. There's one it's close because it's below the horizon, but beyond that there's another one on the horizon. There are many ships that we can see on the horizon, but they are at different distances from us. However, they appear to be on the horizon because once they reach a certain distance, they remain on the horizon as long as we can see them. And as you can see, the conditions are fairly calm. So, these ships, and the bottoms of these ships might become invisible or disappear, but the entire ship isn't going to get swallowed up by massive waves because it's very, very calm. Yeah, so we can see these ships on the horizon, and they stay on the horizon as they go off into the distance. They don't go down in any curvature until they do literally become too small to be able to make out. I mean, at the moment they're just dots on the horizon. You just about make out that they are ships or boats, actually. And just these fishing vessels. But yeah, so this is it. There's everywhere you look, there is observable evidence and proof, really, as well as that goes with the physics of a level stationary Earth. So those people who say, observations confirm the heliocentric model are off their rocker, because it's very simple to understand that explanations have been given in order for us to interpret what we see as being because of, being on a spherical spinning Earth. So it comes down to when you say, well, the horizon's completely level like that, and it rises to eye level when you look straight ahead, then you'll have this faith that, well, actually the entire Earth is curving away from you, and it would appear locally flat. That's the explanation. Of course, it would appear that we have the physics to go with it because of this idea of gravity. But just look. All you have to do is spend time looking at the water around you, and then considering what it is or isn't doing at some distance that you can't really see anymore, or how you would ever be able to confirm or prove that. But that horizon isn't where water is suddenly magically bending away. The only thing that makes that curvy water is faith. You have to have faith that those ships over there are eventually going to go to a point that's actually at a lower level than this level here, which is absolutely ridiculous, because that doesn't happen, does it? If water is at a lower level than the water here, then it will flow down. Of course, we can all imagine that level is the center of a spherical Earth, but everyone has their local level. So you have to be able to think beyond your local level and consider everybody's level. Yeah? Anyway, beautiful crepuscular rays, which, if you think about it, demonstrate without a shadow of a doubt that the sun is not some gigantic spherical thing that is hundreds of times larger than a spherical Earth. This is obviously a level Earth. The sea is in some kind of basin that we are at a higher level than, and that goes for any land out there, thousands of miles in that direction. There is land at the same height as me, perhaps, and water below that level. And everything sits on top of that water at that level. And the sun is most definitely a local phenomenon, but also still equally esoteric in its nature. All right, thank you very much. Click subscribe and the bell icon if you'd like to receive notifications of new videos from Phuket Word.